For hundreds of years, the Yorkshire moors have been home to tens of thousands of sheep. It was reports of mutilated sheep carcasses that began a mystery that continues to haunt shepherds to this day. With the European wolf extinct in mainland Britain, sheep are most at risk of attack by domestic dogs, unleashed by careless owners. Shepherds are all too familiar with wounds inflicted by canine marauders, which makes the earliest reports from farm workers themselves all the more reliable. In the late spring of 1949, newspapers reported on 2 instances where farmers had lost up to a dozen sheep, and which were being firmly rejected as dog attacks. By the autumn of that year, the incidents had moved west, where more mutilated carcasses were found, and once again, shepherds confidently discounted dogs as the perpetrators. Traditionally, shepherds are a superstitious people, and their folk tales include a mysterious, benign figure who guides lost sheep back to their flocks. The apparition is known as the Night Shepherd, and a story began to emerge that the killings were being committed by its malign, evil twin, the Black Shepherd. This remote landscape is also said to be the home of a demonic giant black dog known as the Barghest. The legend of Troller's Gill describes how the corpse of a local wizard was discovered after a magical ritual climaxed in him being ripped apart by the Barghest. In 1951, British mountaineer Eric Shipton reported tracks of giant footprints in snow at around 6,000 meters above sea level in the Himalayas. Western curiosity in the mysterious creature the local people called the Yeti flourished over the next few years, with films, books, and even an expedition sponsored by the Daily Mail. By the winter of 1955, sheep killings on the Yorkshire moors were again in the headlines. Once more, dogs were discounted by experienced shepherds, and newspapers quoted an eyewitness who described tracks in the snow that could have been made by the abominable snowman. Between 1956 and 1961, over 20 sheep-worrying incidents were said to have been due to the actions of the Yorkshire Yeti. As they had done when killer dogs were on the loose, farmers, villagers, and police officers would form mass drives in an attempt to flush out the beast, but all their efforts failed. In the middle of the moors lie the Rosedale Ironstone mines, productive for 70 years and finally closed in 1926. Speculation began that the Yorkshire Yeti might have its lair inside one of the abandoned mine shafts. A local landowner sponsored a search party that included members of the Craven Pothole Club. Some bones and hair were recovered, but tests revealed only that they were the remains of a German spy, the third such find on the moors since the end of the Second World War. More promising was an expedition organized by the Leeds Photographic Society. For several months, volunteers spent many hours on the moors attempting to capture the Yeti on film. A handful of photographs were presented as evidence, but critics said the images were of a so-called Brocken spectre, a scientifically understood phenomenon whereby the shadow of a person appears, under certain weather conditions, as an enormous shadow in the mist. In the last few years, shepherds have been protecting their flocks from large feline predators. While no one has yet caught or killed an animal, there have been numerous sightings of what is believed to be an escaped puma or panther on the moors. Perhaps the Yorkshire Yeti has been forced to move to more remote regions, where there is less competition for its prey.